Hey everybody, Dr. Ed here, and I am back with some Magic Arena. Keep this short. Today we're going to be looking at some Jeskai walkers. I know this deck list in particular 5-0'd at least one Magic Online event. Let's see if I can figure out what's playing. This is by let's see, Jaguar MX at least has a listing on MT Goldfish. The premise of this one, we'll go down the list, is we're going to be playing a bunch of Planeswalkers. And ideally, we're going to be using them to win the game with the Sarkhan's Plus. But we'll go through a quick deck tech, see how everything works as we just crawl down the list. Mox Amber is... I'm not sure if we're at a place where it's found a home, but it works pretty well here as far as ramp is concerned. Generally speaking, we're going to have a legendary creature in the form of Fibble Thipout, or more likely walkers, allowing us to ramp, as well as it's going to be able to trigger our Saheeli proc with her passive. Spell Pierce does Spell Pierce things, can counter the spells we don't want them resolving. Chaka's basic removal, cheap, efficient, gets the job done. Fibble Fit can proc our Mox Amber, so at least we can still get some value out of it if we don't have another walker out. And it's an expensive cantrip that, worst case, it's a 1/1 body to protect our boys, and it replaces itself. This Cant is solid. Essentially, we can almost pretend we're running 5 of them because we're running 4 Narsets. Really good to resolve a Narset against control. We fetch what we want by using her -2, and at its worst, when it's not doing anything else, we get it to 1 loyalty. Each opponent can't draw more than 1 card a turn. That's fantastic. People will forget that passive all the time, myself included. And then we got 3 Fairy here, Time Raveler, running a 4 of. Lets us play, with his uptick, play sorceries at instant speed. -3. Basically a good tempo play. We can bounce a threat back or an artifact, enchantment, we draw a card off of it, and his passive is amazing. If you resolve this in a control matchup, it's almost game if they don't have an answer. It basically forces them to play everything at sorcery speed. It takes away all interaction they have in the form of counterspells. Saheeli's our engine. When you play her, she doesn't do too much, but every time you play another card, basically, in this deck, be it, considering we're only running Fibble Thip as creatures, we're going to be getting a 1/1 servo to artifact creature token that will keep us alive. Then her -2 doesn't have too much use, but when we get something, let's just say, like with the Kasmina, we can at least get a 2/2 wizard out of it, with Sarkhan a dragon that's flying with her -2, but not going to be seeing that work too frequently. We're just going wide with her to keep our boys safe. Clarion is fantastic because we actually have the opportunity to make use of both sides. 3 damage to each creature, solid board wipe. Downside is it does hit our Saheeli tokens. But the life link, I'll follow that up a bit more when we hit Sarkhan. There's a huge play around that here. Kasmina fixes our draws. In this case, it makes ours harder for targeted removal to hit us. We play her on curve. We're not going to have to deal with Vraska's Contempts and some other targeted removal right away. -2, we get a 2/2 wizard, draw, discard, stops us from flooding. And Sarkhan's going to be one of our primary win conditions. In this case, when he +1s, all of our other planeswalkers, himself included, become a 4/4 red dragon with flying. 4/4 is the important stat line here, because if we can fly over after wiping the board with Deafening Clarion, depending on how many walkers we have out, that's a bunch of 4/4 flyers with lifelink just healing us back up. And our top ends make the fairy. Yeah, I know, it's okay. And then, a little bit hidden down in our land mix, we're running a bunch of your standard, expensive, rare lands that no one loves to craft, but thankfully I have them. Down here, the 2 that are relevant that make this a little bit different than usual is we have Interplanar Beacon for some mana fixing for our walkers, plus the life gain we get from actually using a planeswalker. And a couple of mobilized districts. These can work as an alternate win condition, because with our walkers, quite frequently it might even be free for us to activate. Turns it into a man land, we just keep hitting them in the face, or we can hold it back for blockers against like more low to the ground, low power creatures. Ooh, now that was quite a deck list. We're not going to be doing best of 3, but here's the sideboard. Lyrodon Brigger against aggro matchups. Heal you back up if they don't have an answer. Same thing with Clarion, another way to wipe the board. Up against a control matchup who may have subbed in all the creature removal. Cool, we have creatures now. Prison Realm can basically target anything. In this case, if they're not running creatures and we need answers for planeswalkers they're controlling, all the better. Veto, control matchup, uncounterable counter. Lava Coil against a mid-range strategy when we don't want them popping off with any Command the Dreadhorde nonsense with all their Explore package shenanigans, healing them up and letting them fetch everything they could possibly want from graveyards, and then another Spell Pierce. Well, yeah, with that deck tech being done, let's get into a couple of games. Okay, so we are up against my spirit animal, Mr. Gabos here, as the Vivian player portrait, but I'm expecting someone with that name to, you know, maybe be playing some sweet, sweet red aggro. As far as hands are concerned, we don't have all that much interaction early. We can play Saheeli on turn 3, but that's essentially we play her and that's our turn. This might be a bit of greedy keep. Depending on what we're up against, we can hold Spell Pierce up. There's the mountain. I don't want to say I called it. We'll see what they start doing on turn 2. Yeah, there's a Firebrand. I think it potentially will be in our interest just to Deafening Clarion. Potentially on curve. Light up the stage. They're going to be getting a bit more value out of that. We're going to hold back Mox Amber because it's not going to do us any good up until after we have Saheeli out, because at least then we have a blocker for her. But for now, may as well get the Shocklands just down. Gonna hold back mana for a counter Spell Pierce. Not for nothing, at least we can potentially hit Light Up the Stage just to stop them from getting obnoxiously good card draw from mono red in normal queue. I'm not bitter, I promise. Won't even be able to counter it right now because Spell Pierce they'll be able to pay for it. So let's just see if they try to get a burn off or something. Not all that sure if we want to even... Let's see. Yeah, Pyromancer's out. As the board stands, and based on how healthy Saheeli is generally speaking, I think I am fine resolving for now. If for no other reason is we can ramp a little bit, get our Mox Amber out, lets us chump block the Pyromancer, see what they have for burn. And again, worst case, Saheeli actually enters in with a decent amount of loyalty. Especially for a 3-drop walker. No Kiora, but 5 is something they might not want. They might not want to waste time swinging it. But it looks like they're going to be firebranding our servo, which I'm fine with. And we will see. I had an issue earlier in a practice game where it wouldn't let me use my Mox Amber for a Spell Pierce. Gotta check. Yeah, I should have the mana available, but it's irrelevant here. Yeah, they're going to get their Gitsu out. They're going to be hitting Saheeli for at least 4. With the potential to get rid of it, but I suppose... Let's see. Let's see what they have going. Yeah, they have the Shock open, which they're probably going to want to use this turn. So Saheeli, sadly, might not live. That's okay. If they, instead of shocking it, widen their board a little bit, Clarion hits everything. I think even now, my next turn might just be... Probably is going to be, let's see. Yeah, I might just play Fibblethip to block the Viashino. He might play into a fuller board, and then we can just wipe it with Clarion and go into Katarina. I've only done a few games with this actual deck so far, so I'm very much expecting there to be misplays on my end. And he is holding something back with interaction. I'm okay with Interplanar Beacon. Health is something. I'm very okay with him lightning striking Fibblethip. Even just targeting Fibblethip, don't have to worry about anything. We can try to Spell Pierce something else. Let's see. What does opponent play here? Their 5th mountain. They're gonna try to skewer me. That's fine. I'm not into it, but let's see what they have that's not just straight burn. Just that. All right. So actually, what I think I might do here is we are just gonna shock the Gitu. Oh, looks like they do have another instant speed interaction thing going on. Ooh, actually, I don't hate Sarkin here, especially now that we have the mana for it, because that gets us a pretty beefy token to keep ourselves safe. He might just go for burning Sarkin himself, because he'll be at a pretty low loyalty count. Well, let's see how this goes. Yeah, I don't hate it. And we're going to heal for 1. Kazmina will be able to maybe fix our draws a little bit.
Feel the heat of my flames.
Yeah. I'm fine with Sarkin, even if it's just a 4/4 dragon for a while, because that is hard for them to remove without 2-for-1ing it. The Ashino, sadly, is able to target Sarkin itself.
I have lost.
We got a Firebrand coming in. Do they have another removal suite in hand? It's looking like it, because they must be holding on to a Bolt. They're going to be able to hit us for 2, but we're going to have the mana to basically put them in top deck mode with Clarion out. Yeah, we're just going to wipe the board. So in this case, one thing we have going for us is Kazmina, of course. They're going to be just top decking. It's mono red, so it is potentially just going to be straight gas for them. We're not going to play the falls right away, because depending on what we discard with or draw with Kazmina, we might want to discard it. That's a Healy, huh? I don't see us getting too much value out of Spell Pierce a little bit now. And I don't really want to shock unless we have to, just because I feel like we want to get value out of Sahi. And, you know, hindsight being what it is, I really wish I had that Spell Pierce, but now they have the 2 mountains open, so it's irrelevant. Now, what we are looking for is even a Baby Teferi, because that's an enchantment that we can just bounce back. Now, let's see what we can find here with Kazmina. Another land, not too keen on Steam Vents. Let's get Saheeli out. Let's get a little bit of life off of that. I think we're in an okay enough position to just hold this Sulfur Fall. Same thing. You might just end up replacing our current Kazmina just looting. I think it's looting. I think rummaging's when you have to do the discard first, if I'm not mistaken. Shocking face, to be expected. Unhappy about it. And there's one whirly boy. Oh, we're not even going to replace Kazmina, that's fine. Let's see how off they go with their frenzy. Lighting up a stage, okay, yeah, I'm into it. If he just swings in. No, not just swinging in. He's trying to get rid of my tokens. That's fair. Let's see what we draw into. Another land. So let's get our Kazmina out here. We get us another token. We're going to dig a little bit. Beacon out. I think I might actually just play Interplanar Beacon, just because that will actually have a semblance of use for us, potentially coming up. Now let's see, what do we want to do here? Nothing really. Another Chain Whirler, not what I really wanted to see. It does deal with our token, makes these really easy to lose. And it does suck that we still get another use potentially out of Kazmina here. But that'll be basically her job finished. Let's see, can we pull ourselves out? This frenzy's really giving it to us here. Of course, they're just going to be swinging for face, go to blockers. It's a chump block, but that's all we got going for us currently. Opponent has a lot of mana open. Might have a bolt for Artificer just to stop us from generating tokens. No, lightning my face. That's fine. That's fair. So Teferi's cool. Yeah, I think that's basically where I'm sitting at. Teferi is in fact cool. Might even want to down tick. Let's see. We're definitely going to be minusing our Teferi. We're going to be triggering Saheeli that way. Healing up the slightest bit here.
Sorry I'm late.
Forcing them to actually have to resolve Frenzy again, which is something. And now we can get rid of one of our lands with Kazmina.
Are loyal and brilliant.
Like that for now. She's basically tapped out. Now what can we do here to slow them down? Don't have any more draws or anything I would want holding me. Or trying to figure out how many Kazminas we've gone through. I think I technically have one more available buried deep somewhere. Even though it affects our board just as badly, I even have any more Deafening Clarions. I think there's 2 more in here. Definitely 1. Lightning striking my face. Fair enough. You got another burn spell. If you do, it's fine. I understand. Of course, we're going to have to get rid of what we find least valuable currently. Be our servo, keep a 2/2 back. Trying to figure out what keeps us alive here. They're going to frenzy here, and they very well could have lethal based on whatever's on the top of their library here. Not quite, but I have a good shock target now for something. AKA another 1/1 token target. Might have been better for us to actually wait because we're doing pretty good on mana. Yeah, we should have waited. Bummer. So what we can do is uptick with Teferi.
That's more like it.
Swing in. They will let us play this at instant, so, I mean, on the off chance we don't die this turn, depending on what they commit to the board, like a Gitu, or what they draw into, we might be able to come back. Come on, hit another land, bud. Oh, that's what it is. Well, we're gonna let them know we had it at least. I regret everything. Anytime. Just hit the resolve button, champ. Okay, feels bad to lose against mono red, but at least we made him play it out. Yeah, let's jump right into the next video then. Okay, so in the next game we're up against Phantomy, 61. We have access to Narset, Clarion, Shock, Mox, Amber. I'm okay with this. Downside, the lands really hurt, but let's see how this goes. And we're definitely going to have to go Hollowed Fountain, because we don't have fixing as this moment. Ah, they're playing like with pretty lands. Ooh, Duress is not what I wanted to see. They can basically hit everything in here. They're probably going to get rid of Narset, which is a bummer. They are running Creature Heavy. They might get rid of Deafening Clarion. Really? Mox Amber. Okay, that's a weird one to me. That just makes me think they have another Duress or something to deal with Narset. Prince Bastion. Oh, a treasure map. Okay, you're letting me just play Narset. I'm okay with that. If you insist, I will play Narset and start fishing for what I actually need. Let's see. Oh, I would love a Teferi. Oh, what a good boy. And we can actually bounce back the treasure map with Teferi as well, I believe. Plus, with Narset out as is, do we actually want to bounce treasure map? Because then he'll just be able to scry. With Narset actually active, he won't be able to get the bonus card draw from tapping the actual treasure cove to sack things. Chromatic Lantern. Okay, bud. We're looking at Chromatic Black. It looks like I'm down with it. Yeah, I think with Narset out, I just bounce the Lantern. That seems more than reasonable to me. Let's see what we can find with her, though. Another Narset. I'm okay with the replacement if they have an answer to deal with her as is. There's nothing we need to hold mana up for. Just see what we draw into first. Let's just whip out our Teferi.
Right on schedule.
We're just gonna bounce back this boy's lantern.
Let's try this.
Gonna let us continue to curve on out. Won't be able to do anything with Mobilized District. Do we want to play that just so we can start swinging with it? I think that actually might be potentially an okay idea. Just to start getting some damage in. Davriel, okay, that's cool.
No one has seen my face and lived.
If he down ticks Davriel, I don't know how relevant this shock will be to us.
Let's tidy
Same thing
up.
with Clarion, but I think I'm just going to dump shock. If they do generate a board, Clarion will be cool. If not, we can always fall back on the lifelink portion. So let's see what we have for options. They are tapped out. I actually kind of don't hate the idea that because we can replace Narset on the field, down tick or up tick to Fairy, and we will still have, if I play Sulphur Falls, the mana to swing in with District. I think. Let's find out how bad I am at math. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, no, we don't want to tap that way though. Let me go. Oh no, because yeah, you need to tap itself. Yeah, we'd only have 2. Be a 2/2. We'd hold this. You know what? We won't. I probably should have just played Steam Vents, which is fine. And we are just going to get our District out. Either way. Not too used to using this big strong land. And then of course, since it had Vigilance at that point, we still have the mana available to us if we had more instant interaction. Okay, so they're getting the Lantern back out. I think they might have missed a land drop here. Makes me a little scared in what's in their hand, but especially with them running Davriel and a Duress. They could be running some weird mono, like chromatic black, fun discard time shenanigans. Our turn here. I think if we can resolve it, this Kanta's really good. Same thing, we're just gonna uptick to Fairy, because that's the easy choice. Let's see. I think I want to get another Narset out and start loot that way. Don't want to tap my District. Or, Or we dealing Graveyard, we're only at 2. Dry. We're gonna go blue, we're gonna go blue. Whatever, we're gonna resolve our set here. Fine. They could have interaction with their 3 treasure maps here, but I would love to keep the new fresh one.
Encounter no obstacles. I have just the trick for this.
I don't hate the idea of Teferi, but Arkan's just a cool boy. Oh, easier going me. Buddy, I'm thinking here. Oh, I'm bad at counting. Let's see. There we go. And we get him for 3 in face. Next turn, if we are able to resolve Sarkin, that will make it so we only cost 1 to get Mobilized District out and blocking or attacking. Bolus Dragon got him. That's fine. See if he decides to try to remove one of my walkers. He might go for Narset. Or Teferi. I suppose they're both pretty decent targets for him. Now what do I not care too much about? Yeah, I don't see Clarion actually doing all that much good for us.
You have no weakness I cannot.
I'm gonna try to resolve something else. He knows I have a Sarkin. Eldest Reborn. Well, that's a little annoying. I'm a little miffed about that. Now, who do I get rid of? I do have a replacement Narset, which... Fine, I suppose. We have that shock, so we can actually still play Sarkin, uptick, Teferi, shock a Bolus. Yeah, I think that's looking like what we're going to be doing here.
Let us fight.
are going to uptick.
Are you ready?
Are going to get rid of any advantage generation he could be giving himself here.
Insolent
Back the
fool.
Dargon.
I will wipe your bloodline from
And of course, we are just going to uptick our Teferi, just so we can downtick him. Go from there. I think we're at the point now where Bell Pierce might not be hitting what I want it to with the mana he has available. Opponent's thinking. He's getting his own blast zones out, which is a little scary. He has two. He hasn't done any upticking, but Teferi's a target, which also makes Narset vulnerable to it. Sarkhan's at 5, so that's not a huge concern. Right now, yeah, he's getting his counters up and got it up to 4, which means there's a decent chance. He's taking it up to 4. He's probably just going to be going for Sarkhan, so I think it makes most sense for us to at least get a creature on the board with our Sarkhan. Oh, worst case with the Teferi. Let's see what we draw into. Let's just get rid of this Chromatic Lantern. I know Eldest Reborn's going to be triggering sooner than later.
Here goes nothing.
Least we can do is bounce something. We're going to have some ramp here. Let's play. Thinking we have 4H, 11, down to 6. See. Yeah, I think just down ticking Sarkhan is fine here, because it gives us another threat that he has to deal with on a turn. So we can get in our set, looting about.
Practiced against with thoughtfulness before action.
New battlefield. How does he have for mana? It's 5 drop, and he's sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know what? I actually think we just fish for the Spell Pierce here. Let's just resolve everything else. Because, yeah, we will still have the island available here. Only downside I am noticing is we... See. Actually, Spell Pierce doesn't do pretty much anything for us when he just whips Bolus Dragon God out of his graveyard. Don't know what I'm thinking. What do I not care about too much at this point in time? We can get rid of one of our fountains.
I will return. My intellect is without limit.
The one saving grace we have is on board he only has 2 swamps at the ready. Walk the plank. That does kill our dragon. I haven't really seen too many people running that, but I suppose with how heavy the black mana requirement is for Bolus, it's going to be quite likely you'll have the double black whenever you need, especially if you're running mana to reliably cast Dragon God. Now let's see what we have going here. Do we want a Fibble Fib? Not really. It is going to be flipping as Kanta for us. I do like having another Sarkhan. It's going to cost us 1 mana to get District out. Let's see. See what we find with Narset real quick.
Meditate and prepare.
I'm okay with more Sarkhans. That's just more dragons. At his worst, he is another 4/4 dragon on the board. So I think we are going to get our upticking done and over with here now.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
I do think we get rid of Bolus. Their man land out. In case he does have one of his blast zones at 4. What is he hitting with that? 4 counters. It's a 3, that's a 5, that's a 3. We're just gonna clap back just because he was being a little rude earlier. Oh, and the shame conceit. I feel him. I've miscounted the last zone before. I can feel the shame. It's fine, but it does feel good to win the game. Even though these games are going on a bit longer than some of our go wide, go fast X. But yeah, I think we have time for another one real quick. Okay, so probably our last game we are up against KVZ. Or KVZ as my Canadian. I'm okay with this. I really love getting Narset out. At her worst, she really helps us find what we want. And then we have, of course, our Value Land for, hey bud, thanks for playing Planeswalkers. We got our district, which lets us hit people in the face with these really happy people who are just standing in a row for some reason or another. Let's see. Whip out our Steam vents. Let them think we're playing Drakes or something. Opponent has a very hard turn one. I can't judge him too much. I was taking my sweet time in my games, but all these lands, he has to make sure he picks the right one, and if he doesn't, well, I don't know. Maybe he won't be able to turn 3 Narset. You know, there's a chance we just get roped in there, AFK. Oh, no. Oh, hand highlighting. Up there. Oh, that was a hard choice. I can respect that, though, man. You gotta make the hard decisions. When I see a Hallowed Fountain, though, I really want to resolve a Teferi. Because if we resolve a Teferi against people running counters, fantastic. We have 2 of them, so on the off chance that it is Esper something, they're getting their Kanta out, I am fine with that. We're gonna play our Bacon, play our Teferi. They no longer have any instant speed interaction to target our board. And then, of course, for funsies, we can just bounce back their Kanta. There you go, bud. Thanks for the card draw. Following turn, we can hit Narset. Following turn, we can hit Sarkin and see if they have answers for that. Pardon me, we might not be able to play Narset. They might also go for Sarkin. Okay, that's fine. I'm okay resolving Narset, buddy. I also have a Kazmina available to us. Feel like I want Narset out now, though.
Mind and body should move.
Let's just take a look. What can we find in here?
balance.
Another one. We can get our own Iskanta out. Another Kazmina would be cool. It gives us a board presence. They did just bin some sweepers in the form of the Cry of the Carnarium. You know what? I think I might just go for this Kanta. I feel like that might be the safest choice we have here. Another Steam Vents out. Plus our Teferi. Make opponent a little bit sad. Getting his Kant out. Respect. Yeah, I feel you, man. Now what do we want? We're gonna
Keep an
dig
open
deep.
mind.
See, yeah, we can get another area. Sure, why not? You remove him, we have another one. I'm okay with this. I'd like to find our bigger boys again, but let's see. We can get the district out. Probably should have districted last turn, especially if we knew we were going to be playing Kazmina. But let's see here.
Come, little ember, and learn your true power.
Let's see. Uptick our Teferi. Play it with Kazmina. See what we can
Focus on
find.
what matters.
Do I care too much about the Mox Amber anymore? I'm honestly not too sure. Drawing it late is weird. But as it stands, do I want to... I'll just dump Auto Fairy. Wait, as that is going to be my critical mistake of the game. And we're just going to resolve this. Why not? And Discanta. Let's just have everything out on the board. If he's just playing standard Esper control, he's in a little bit of a rough situation. Not gonna lie, I would have loved to have gotten another Narset just to keep digging, but Kazmina gets us at least a little bit more deeper in. And not to mince words, we all know Escanta's kind of busted. Acquisition, huh? I'm expecting someone to be fishing some scary stuff like an Elder Spell or something that will just clear my board and make me regret everything. Thankfully, we did get Spell Pierce, and that's real good. And what will you fetch for us, Kaz?
Every day is a
Clarion.
new lesson.
Don't think that will be overly relevant to us. Can solve the Foundry. I think we'll be good on mana at this point. Anything else? Future Casminas we can just get rid of. Plus our Teferi.
Don't worry, I got this.
Get our district out because it will only cost us 1, I believe. Make this a creature. Importantly, we are going to be able to hold up the Spell Pierce. Going for 5. So we're getting our knocks in. Let's see how this goes. Because remember, he won't have instant speed interaction. He won't have a counter to counter my counter, but if this is Elder Spell, shittily enough that he has enough mana to make that a non-issue. Bonus thinking about it. A resolved 3 fairy makes everything really annoying because unless you have a way to get rid of him, this absorb is useless. There's nothing he can do with that. Kaya's Wrath sweeps the board. Sadly, Spell Pierce doesn't do anything for us there. But we're going to be able to bounce this Kanta, delay the flip of it. Our Teferi, Shock's not very relevant to us. Another retreat. If we can get some card draw off of the bounced Kanta to find a Sarkin, which will be giving us, let's see, 4, 8, 12 damage to face. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm more than fine with that. Yeah, that's pretty good. A little bit miffed. I misplayed. We had lethal. I could have used mobilized district and swung in for the kill there.
They are coming.
Yeah, originally I was just going to complain that it didn't leave any blue mana outside of our Mox Amber untapped, but shit, yeah. I had lethal there. Let's see if I threw. Let's see if that was a punt. Does opponent have a way to deal with 4 walkers who are going to be swinging in for 16 this coming turn? Ah, you shit. Oh, no. Okay. Okay, this is suboptimal. I'm not going to lie to you. This isn't great. This isn't what we wanted to see. Downside being, he has enough untapped mana. That isn't oops. We very well might have punted here. What we do have is Teferi that we are going to be able to play. Going to be able to flip his Kanta. We might be able to... Oh, why am I thinking about this? Yeah, we have District. Yeah, we win. Okay. Yeah, I am not comfortable with this deck, and I have made more misplays than that, I'm assuming, but it's really fun. I kind of want to play around with this more off-camera, just so I can not make stupid punts like that and almost lose to Elder Spell and all that fun stuff. But for now, I'm Dr. Ed. Thanks for watching. Sorry I'm not too great with this one, but at least it was fun to play. Yeah, for now, catch y'all later. Bye for now, everybody!